Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We set aside this time for brief announcements that will be of interest to our community and friends. Please be succinct when announcing upcoming events or updates. If you have an announcement, please raise your hand. When Andy or I call upon you, come up to the podium or unmute yourself and then speak. Any announcements? Sue, come on up.
Well, as Judy Butler announced last week, she is going to be moving to Texas in the middle of February. So she's going to leave a lot of holes in our community here. And the operations committee is kind of looking to fill those holes. So the first thing is it's a small job, but it's important, is to kind of organize the library. So if you have any interest in that, please, see myself for that. And then the second job is, Judy has been quietly posting on Nextdoor. And how many of you do Nextdoor? Yeah. So it's very easy actually to post. I've done it myself a few times. You can just even cut and paste out of the newsletter. But I think it's been very useful for us to have our speakers posted on Nextdoor. So if you have any interest in doing that, it doesn't take very long, but please let me know. And then the third thing that Judy has done is she's been responsible for all the planting around here. So after the service today, she's offered to stay and walk around with us and just tell us a little about the planting. And already Neil and Ramel have offered to help continue that gardening. So thank you for that. And let me know if you can do any of those jobs to fill the big hole. Thank you.
Ted? Oh, Randy, then Ted. Okay.
Sorry, Ted. No worries. But, yes. Oh, you mean next month? Yeah, okay. Hi, good morning. I'm Randy. And let's see. So to follow on what Sue was saying, we're going to dedicate Sunday, February 15th service to Judy. Okay. So it's mandatory that you all attend. Okay. And it's going to be an expanded service, because we're going to have food, so therefore it's going to go beyond 11 o'clock. So, but it's going to be our last big bash with Judy. So, and we'll be sharing a lot of her readings and stories and anything else you have about her, and maybe even a roast. Who knows? Okay, so that's on February 15th. The day before that, to make it a special weekend, we're going to, at our house, have a potluck. So it'll be a special, heartfelt Valentine's Day potluck. Okay, and my last announcement, tomorrow at 4:30 on Zoom will be our monthly worship committee meeting. So those of you on the committee, please check in. And if anybody else is interested in joining us, we'd love to have you. Just let me know. I'll send you a Zoom link. Thank you.
Good morning. Like all of us, I'm in absolute denial that Judy's leaving. Okay, but I just want to just put this out there. I'm going to try and put together a quick group to do our 46 pickup, and I'll send that out to the group that's on my list. But if you're not on the list to volunteer for the highway pickup, you can let me know today, and I'll try and get you on the list. Thanks.
Good morning. I'm Andy Fagan, convener of the book discussion group, the last Wednesday of every month. We continue our reading of The Sources of Our Faith here in the sanctuary in person, no Zoom, just a quiet, wonderful deep dive into our sources. So everyone's welcome, 4 o'clock Wednesday here at the sanctuary. Thank you.
Janet?
Yeah, just a reminder, today's fourth Sunday, and we'll be collecting for the Salinan Indian tribe today. So,
Do we have any announcements on Zoom land, Andy?
Not at this time.
Okay. Thank you. Next week, Diane DeMarco will host a congregational circle called Connecting with Our 6 UU Values. Let us take a moment to still our hearts, quiet our minds, and center ourselves. Peace is in every step. The shining red sun is my heart. Every flower smiles with me. How green, how fresh all that grows. How cool the wind blows. Yes, peace is in every step. It turns the endless path to joy. And Thich Nhat Hanh. Marcia will light the chalice here in the sanctuary this morning, and those of you at home are invited to light their own chalice as well at home. At times, our own light goes out, and it is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lit the flame within us and the community. Before we sing our first hymn, let me remind the remote participants to leave yourself muted. However, we want you and whoever is with you to sing with us as big and loud as you like. Let's make it a joyous experience. So please stand in body or spirit and sing the opening hymn with us, Hold Fast to Love by Lynn Harrison.
This is another of our new hymns. 1, 2, 3. Hold fast to love, for it's not broken. Hold fast to love, it will endure. Hold fast to love, hold your heart open for all this hurt. Love is the cure. Hold fast to love, it's staying right here, despite the ones who've lost their way. Hold fast to love, it shows the way clear, so we can face another day. Hold fast to love, it's in our voices. Hold fast to love, it's in our hands. Love rises up to guide our choices. There is no storm love can't withstand. Hold fast to love, it's not broken. Hold fast to love, it will endure. Hold fast to love, hold your heart open for all this hurt. Love is the cure for all this hurt. Love is the cure. I'm laughing because Dolores was dancing. It makes my heart sing. Thank you.
Well, once again, everyone, good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist community of Cambria. We are glad you joined us today. Our UUCC sanctuary sits on land that the Salinan and Chumash indigenous peoples historically inhabited. We honor their contribution to this region and give thanks for the opportunity to gather in faith on their unceded territory, which reminds me that every time we take the Forest Loop Trail on the Fiscalini Ranch, we're going through an area that has been set aside because it contains relics and memories of these indigenous people that lived here. So let us respect their legacy and protect their history as we occupy this sacred space. As Unitarian Universalists, we celebrate religious diversity and welcome all who journey in search of faith and spirituality. The UUCC is a lay-led congregation run by the democratic process. We invite speakers from different religious traditions and spiritual or scientific backgrounds, as well as the community leaders, to speak at our pulpit. We encourage presentations covering a variety of topics and areas of interest that connect with the UU 7 principles and 6 values: equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, justice, and interdependence, with love at the center. Today's service centers around the 7th principle. We affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. My name is Steve Nathanson, and I am your worship associate for this morning's service. We extend a special welcome to today's guests and visitors. We're glad you joined us this morning. If you wish, if you have a visitor, please introduce yourself, or if you are a visitor, please stand up and introduce yourself. Any visitors today? Okay, so if you are not on our mailing list, please visit the UUCC website at uuccambria.org so that we can keep you informed about all of our activities. Members and friends, please check out what's happening. The UUCC newsletter is sent to you every week. This is a great way to keep up to date with our latest news. To see this or any of the past Zoom services, the recordings can be found on the UUCC website. So once again, good morning to everyone and welcome. The affirmation is both a recognition of the nature of this community as well as a promise to which we aspire. Let us now recite the UUCC affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth and freedom, and to help one another. Now is the time for sharing your heartfelt joys and concerns with this, your spiritual community. Please feel free to come forward and briefly express a personal celebration, sorrow, reflection, or gratitude. We read this next statement every week, but I think today it's especially poignant. The collective flames of these candles embody all the joys and concerns which may have gone unspoken today, but are also deeply felt in this community. The first reading consists of 2 messages titled The Higher Purpose and Words of Harmony from the book From the Mountaintop, Volume 3, Spiritual Messages compiled by William H. Dower. And our speaker this morning has asked me to announce that he will be donating this book to our UUCC library as well. The first part, the higher purpose. You must never lose sight of one fact. The higher purpose, the aim of all who are true Templars, was and still is the preparation of the place where it might become possible for the overshadowing Christ to enter and send forth the message which the world has waited for so long. It would be truly impossible for such an overshadowing of the spiritual forces to enter and dwell with a number of disaffected, treacherous, inhuman elements. It could not do the work for which it came, even if it were possible to come. Such a place requires quiet concentration, aspiration, unified endeavor, and faith in each other and the common purpose. These are essential. All else is non-essential. And the second part of our reading, words of harmony. Preserve harmony in your own soul, and it'll flow out to all others, for it is more powerful than you understand and more far-reaching. Sink all thought of self, all personal ambition, the small jealousies and suspicion which mar the heart's melodies, in love of the work and devotion to the cause. Listen to the great song of love, compassion, tenderness, and losing yourself in that, forget these passing shadows. United, harmonious, your power is limitless. Without these, you can do nothing. See to it then that your tone in the great instrument be pure and clear, else discord will result. Behind all sin and suffering, shadows, these lie the divine harmonies of reality. These seek and finding, lose not. Let us enter a place of peace and serenity where you are one with your spiritual being. Be at peace within your space where the absence of all that is temporal is your most cherished gift. Let us enter the stillness. May today there be peace within. May you trust your highest power that you are exactly where you are meant to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities that are born of faith. May you use those gifts that you have received and pass on the love that has been given to you. Let this presence settle into your bones and allow your soul the freedom to sing and dance. It is there for each and every one of you. Amen. The second reading this morning is a message published in and titled, Let Us Remember from the Mountaintop, Volume 3. Let us remember that the temple is our real home, that the great Master said, love ye one another, that all doubts spring from the lower nature, that we cannot love God, whom we have not seen, if we hate our brother, whom we have seen. That he who thinketh and speaketh good of others stands in the shine of the lodge of life. That we should be tolerant in things uncertain, liberal in things doubtful, and in all things charitable. That where much light is, the shadows also are stronger. Please stand now in body or spirit and sing together when our heart is in a holy place, hymn number 1008.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every breed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in the our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place.
Today's talk is entitled My Road to Halcyon and the Temple, to be delivered by Rick London. After 23 years at United Way of San Luis Obispo County, first as CFO and then CEO, Rick London remains grateful for the experiences of establishing a youth board, securing a license for a low-power community radio station, and facilitating an inmate communications program at the SLO County Jail. Rick especially appreciated the upstream focus on programs that encouraged an emphasis on reading, financial, and social-emotional literacies, all very necessary for nurturing resiliency and well-being. On January 1st, 2023, Rick became the 6th Guardian-in-Chief of the Temple of the People, after having been evolving student, member, and priest over the previous 28 years. Rick's connection to the temple honors his need for holding sacred the essence of Mother Nature and the interconnectedness of all forms of existence, and for respecting the interdependent web of existence of which we are all a part. Please welcome Rick to our pulpit now.
Thank you. Good morning. I have come to believe that the old proverb, all roads lead to Rome, is a metaphor implying a universal direction or goal in life that we all may have in common. At this point in humanity's evolution, a person's ultimate road or path throughout their existence may simply be to realize the presence of an inner peace, calmness, and tranquility. Upon reflection, my Rome has become a state of mind called Halcyon, a place where it might become possible to know a peace that passeth understanding, and a power that maketh all things new. I first encountered that peace in August of 1995, when the need to honor the 23rd anniversary of my kid brother's death brought me into the Blue Star Memorial Temple to experience the daily noon healing service. The prayers and meditation in that service are directed toward the health and safety of the world, and they resonated deeply within me. This was in sharp contrast to the rumors I'd heard about Halcyon that had stimulated a sense of caution as I entered what I now know to be a sacred place. This talk is about my road to Halcyon and why the Temple of the People is so important to me. With your indulgence, I will highlight some of the circumstances, choices, and diverse influences that have brought me here today. I was born Richard Allen London on October 7th, 1951, in Los Angeles. My parents named me after my great-grandfather, who was exterminated by the Nazis in 1942 on his 74th birthday. My three younger brothers and I were raised Jewish in a predominantly Christian San Fernando Valley neighborhood, and as I mentioned, one of my brothers was killed by a drunk driver when he was 17. As a teenager, I spent 2 summers as a junior counselor at a Jewish kosher sleepaway camp before becoming a school bus driver at a fraught time when school buses were used as the primary strategy for complying with the court-ordered desegregation of the LA Unified School District. That job carried me through LA Valley College and California State University at Northridge, CSUN, where I earned a degree in business administration before passing the CPA exam. In those years of exposure to diverse influences, I had become a bar mitzvah, joined a Presbyterian Boy Scout troop, fell in love with the daughter of a Christian Science practitioner, and took a class in communism as an elective at CSUN. While working for a business management firm, I was offered the opportunity to become the road accountant for the Eagles Hotel California tour, which was the start of my 18-year career in the music industry. The high point was when I became the lead manager of Billy Joel's tour to the Soviet Union, with the resulting production of 2 television specials and the first worldwide live radio concert broadcast from Leningrad. But that time also brought a low point when everything I had believed to be true, fair, and just about life was significantly impacted by several painful civil court litigations. Encounters with diverse influences continued after I married into the Catholic faith and had a son who has since blessed me and my former wife with 2 grandsons I love being with every single day. Another influence is my now significant other, also Jewish, who was raised in Ukraine and speaks both fluent English and Russian. She miraculously and intentionally migrated her way to Halcyon with her late husband and 3 children in search of the temple. I am grateful for this Russian fluent second family and the many traditions we share. These turns contributed to the road that has led me on what I believe to be my particular path of necessity, one that has allowed me to know the potential for encountering inner peace, calmness, and tranquility. Even before I became guardian-in-chief, my connection to the temple honored an inner need to hold sacred the essence of Mother Nature and the interconnectedness of all forms of existence. I have long believed we are each a part of the interdependent web of all existence, and that the first noon healing service, I became intrigued as much by the temple's connection to the Native American tribes of the Great Lakes region as I was with the theosophical roots. Not many people have heard of the term Haudenosaunee, which is the preferred name for a group of people belonging to the Iroquois Confederacy. The temple was formed in Syracuse, New York, just 7 miles from tribal land, at the heart of the original League of Five Nations. I was surprised to learn about their sacred reverence for the Creator, about the significant leadership roles designated to women, and about the authentic concern of the Haudenosaunee for their children's children, known as the 7th generation. I was surprised to learn about the role their great leader Hiawatha played over 1,000 years ago as he helped facilitate a lasting peace among the warring neighboring nations of the Onondaga, Mohawk, Cayuga, Seneca, and Oneida. I was surprised to learn that the Haudenosaunee peace arrangement became the framework for the United States Constitution and had an influence on the evolving democratic principles of the United States of America. As for the temple's theosophical roots, the term theosophy is defined as the wisdom of God, the ancient wisdom, or the wisdom religion. I was surprised to learn about the establishment of the Theosophical Society in the year 1875 by Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, also known as HPB. The Society's motto is, quote, "There is no religion higher than truth," end quote. And it is guided by the following three objectives. First, to form a nucleus of the universal brotherhood of humanity without distinction of race, creed, sex, caste, or color. Secondly, to encourage the comparative study of religion, philosophy, and science. Third, to investigate unexplained laws of nature and the powers latent in humanity. Theosophy is unique in its intentional blending of Eastern and Western mystical and metaphysical perspectives. Parenthetically, I am a nonviolent communication, or NVC, practitioner, meaning I endeavor to communicate compassionately, although not always as adeptly as I aspire to. I mention this as a reminder that while we may all assume we are speaking the same language, the intended meaning behind our words is not necessarily received in the same understanding as they were offered. For instance, for the Theosophical Society back in 1875, the terms brotherhood and mankind were considered to be inclusive of both women and men. But that is not the case nowadays. You may also know that the more than 15,000 years old ancient Sanskrit symbol known as the swastika held the sacred meaning of peace, auspiciousness, and life's journey, until it was appropriated by the Nazi Party and perverted into a symbol of hate. Meanings can change as cultures and times evolve. In my first encounters with Halcyon, I remember being impressed by the temple's emphasis on the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This first rule of being human was universally reflected in the temple pamphlets I found free for the taking in the Halcyon store and post office, which is where I noticed my initial apprehensions about the temple were in the process of dissipating. By the way, it was in 1908 when the Halcyon post office first opened its doors, which were only recently closed for good, even after Halcyon had become a state and federal historic district. In those pamphlets and other materials, I learned about the temple motto, temple objectives, and the foundation stones of the Temple of the People, all of which made sense to me. The temple motto is, "Creeds disappear, hearts remain." The 5 objectives conclude with the 5th. The promotion of a knowledge of true social science based on immutable law, showing the relationship between one human being and another, and between human beings, God, and nature. When these relationships are understood, we will instinctively formulate and follow the law of true brother-sisterhood, the unity of all life. The foundation stones of the temple are religion, science, and economics. The temple teaches that there can be no true religion without its scientific basis, and there can be no right economic system not based on a science that is religious and a religion that is scientific. Shortly after experiencing that first noon healing service, I began attending the Tuesday and Friday evening study classes and the Sunday morning services, which continue to include a monthly communion service, lectures, and a monthly meditation service. Initially, I was on a mission to investigate claims made by some outside the community that Halcyon and the temple were a cult. Some 30 years later, it is quite clear to me that the town of Halcyon consists of people from various walks of life, in various stages of life, who have been drawn to Halcyon for a variety of reasons. Most are spiritual seekers and students of life. Many have been teachers, artists, scientists, musicians. All have unique personalities, and whether they belong to the temple or not, do the best they can at living the golden rule. Like a drop from the ocean contains the ocean, Halcyon, as with most communities, contains the essence of humanity with all of its aspirations and infirmities. The more I study and practice the temple teachings, the more gratitude I have for how Halcyon and the temple came to be. I am especially grateful for the work of Francois A. Ledoux and William H. Dower, M.D., the first two guardian-in-chiefs and co-founders of the Temple of the People. Here's a little background for you. William Quan Judge was one of the three co-founders of the Theosophical Society in 1875, along with H.P.B. and Colonel Henry Steele Olcott. While studying medicine in New York City, Dr. Dower met Mr. Judge and became interested in theosophy. In the early 1890s, Dr. Dower organized a branch of the Theosophical Society in Syracuse, New York, and Mrs. Ledoux became a member. Even as a young man, Dr. Dower had been active in causes related to Native American rights, in particular with the local Onondaga Nation. And in 1897, both he and Mrs. Ledoux were initiated into the Turtle Clan of the Onondagas. His advocacy of Native American rights was closely integrated with his theosophical beliefs. In 1898, Dr. Dower and Mrs. Ledoux were divinely inspired to form the Temple of the People in Syracuse. A few years later, under the guidance of the Master Hilarion, Dr. Dower was instructed to relocate his medical practice to the West Coast. Occult science teaches that there are lines of force encircling the earth in all directions, and these intersections of these lines are centers of power that have been used as places of healing and consecration throughout the ages. Mrs. Ledoux made 2 trips to California to investigate several healing centers designated by the Master, and was directed to a place just east of Oceano. After this site was dedicated to the temple work in January 1903, Dr. Dower and those of the original temple group in Syracuse, who could so arrange their affairs, came to join Mrs. Ledoux in California to establish the community now known as Halcyon. A large 3-story Victorian home in Oceano, which was purchased in 1904, became the Halcyon Hotel and Sanatorium. With the railroad depot just a short distance away, people came from all corners of the world to be treated for many things, including drug addiction, alcoholism, nervous disorder, and tuberculosis. Time spent being in tune with the nature forces in the magnificent sweep of sand dunes and at the beach benefited healing. Dr. Dower also procured the first X-ray machine on the Central Coast and used treatments including color, sound, and electricity. All patients were treated without regard to financial status, but there were pleas for patient sponsors in the Temple's monthly magazine, The Temple Artisan, requesting donations of $10 a month for resident treatment. In addition to the focus on the healing arts, opportunities were explored for temple members to earn a living. Although it was established as an intentional community, Halcyon has never been a commune. Its members have always supported themselves. As land was purchased and leased to members, some began raising crops, others tried poultry production, still others commercially produced herbs and flower seeds. Some worked in the Robertson Art Pottery Studio, which was established in 1909. It is notable that pieces of this pottery are now prized possessions in several museums. French Ledoux, the first guardian-in-chief, also known as Blue Star, passed in 1922 when Dr. Dower became the second guardian-in-chief. He oversaw the design and construction of the Blue Star Memorial Temple, which was completed in 1924 in honor of Mrs. Ledoux. An example of sacred architecture, the temple is built on lines of mathematical and geometrical symbolism, surrounded by white pillars that support the roof, the porch roof. This unique structure is triangular in shape, symbolizing the heart and unity of all life, as well as the many trinities central to the core of all great spiritual teachings throughout history. The windows are placed high to symbolize the divine light that comes from above and are glazed with a special opalescent glass to diffuse the sunlight into a golden glow. Its 7 doors are symbolic of the key number of the universe. As a religious society, the temple is non-denominational, with members and friends coming from a wide variety of religious backgrounds. The 3 basic tenets of the temple are: creeds disappear, hearts remain, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and judge not lest ye be judged. Temple members who desire to pursue our course of study may do so. If a member so chooses, this study, combined with service and continued dedication, this can lead to the priesthood. In the temple, priests do not intercede, as the teachings clearly state that each person is their own priest, with an individual connection to God or all that is. From the Bhagavad Gita to biblical scripture, from HPB's secret doctrine to the teachings of the temple, the volumes of offerings can truly enlighten one's soul when incrementally considered, one word, one sentence, one page at a time. Needless to say, it took a while before the theosophical principles of reincarnation and karma and their intrinsic connection to the concepts of hope and responsibility began to make sense to me. I would like to conclude my travels on the road to Halcyon and the temple by quoting from the temple's 10 rules of discipleship. For any dedicated student of life, these profoundly straightforward guidelines can nurture a direct connection with the Golden Rule and cultivate respect for the interdependent web of life of which we are all a part. Listen to the preamble and the first 2 rules of discipleship. God is love, and love is the fundamental source of being. Therefore, if thou sin against love, that sin is against God. 1. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. This is the highest law. 2. Thou shalt obey the laws of life. The higher law will hold thee accountable for the breaking of every lesser law. Together, the 10 rules of discipleship offer a conscious, cohesive concept for a caring, constructive embodiment of the necessary forces of civility, which are intrinsically contained within each constituent part of the human body. In the body's perfect correspondence to the Garden of Eden, consider how our present physical existence began with the impulse of a single cell, then evolved into a multitude of differentiated, diversified cells, organs, and systems that continue to instinctually, intuitively, and lovingly cooperate as they work together in concert without distinction of usefulness, responsibility, or bodily location. Each human body is a precious temple, if you will, a sanctuary for each human soul to gain experience, learn, and evolve. I believe this embodiment is the ultimate example of respect for the interdependent web of existence of which we are all a part, and is the ultimate universal blueprint for living by the golden rule. To truly know and honor the age-old invocation, "Thy will be done," with gratitude and obedience, a kind of courage is required, one that is fortified by a faith that acknowledges the emergence of all existence from a single sacred source, and that corresponds to the cells which initiated this particular lifetime for us all. I find it particularly challenging to live during a time and cycle when freedom and right seems to overshadow the need for consideration and self-responsibility, when the desire to win seems to take precedence over truth, when scapegoating seems more prevalent than honesty, and when convenience and amusement appears preferential over a more natural way of making one's living. While it is true that a single candle can bring light into a very dark space, the same holds true as one single, unfettered, selfish, self-centered individual or malignant cell has the potential to overpower a system, an organism, or any organization. More than anything else, the road to the temple in Halcyon has taught me the importance of usefulness, self-responsibility, and consideration. In the face of today's dark challenges, that simply means it's up to each of us to be the light shining in the darkness. It's up to each of us to be the unity we seek. Whether we are Theosophists or Unitarian Universalists, Buddhists, Hindus, Jews, Christians, or Muslims, the ultimate goal is to realize our connection to one another. In the words of the noon healing service, we are God, in God, of God. All things, all creatures are in us, and we in them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rick, for that. The morning offering will now be given and received. Please remember, we are a self-sustaining congregation and provide all financial resources for our many ministries. We recognize the spiritual value of generosity and invite you to participate. If you are viewing this service remotely, please use one of the methods shown on the screen. Thank you. Our thanks for all gifts given and received for the work of this community. Now please stand in body or spirit and sing the closing hymn, Heart Opening Song by Randy Partain.
And you guessed it, this is another new hymn.
My heart is open, open wide to the song of the earth. My heart is open wide to the song of the earth. My heart is open wide to the song of you. My heart is open wide to the song of you. My heart is open wide to the song of my soul. My heart is open wide to the song of my soul.
As we prepare to extinguish the chalice, let us recite the valediction. Till we meet again. Now let's form a circle and join hands, and Rick will provide some wonderful closing words for us.
There is a peace that passeth understanding. There is a power that maketh all things new. It lives and moves in those who know the self as one. May that peace brood over us. May that power uplift us till we stand where the one great initiator is invoked. And may the Holy Trinity of love, will, and wisdom be with us now and forevermore. Amen.
Amen.